A very good afternoon to Madam. I'm Sunita Tamasalva. Today I'm going to do an individual assignment presentation of professionalism and ethics in education assignment. Without any delay, we just move to the introduction. The introduction is specifically in context of teaching. Some of the main tasks is involved in creating an handbook on the code of ethics, teacher conducting the online classes and presenting detail about information about an assigned ethical theory and is also implemented in teaching. The handbooks expected to be informative and well organized, interactive and user friendly while the online teacher conduct the online class. And also it's gonna be a task B, which what I did is I had created two posters. It included two ethical theory and it is also included introduction, uh, introduction, strength, weakness, and relevant on the educational field. Okay, we move to the next, which is objective of this assignment. The first is demonstrate knowledge of ethical theory and their application in teaching. It's also explain in detail and cite ethical theory and its relevance on the teaching field. To highlight how can the ethical theory can be applied in teaching practices, it also discuss characteristics, strength and weakness of the theory of the education. The second point is showcase effective communication and presentation skills. It's also present the information about code of ethics in a clear, concise, and an engaging manner. It's also using an online tools to create, organizing, and attractive online teaching. The third point, which is assess and evaluate the students' understanding and application of ethics in education. It's also evaluate the student comprehensions of ethical responsibility in teaching and learning. It's also assess the student ability to relate the code of ethics and the ethical theory to teachers' ethical issues. The fourth point is develop essential skills and competencies to enhance students' knowledge and understanding of professionalism, ethics, and their application in education. Is also foster effective communication, practical, interpersonal, digital skills in online teaching. It's also promote leadership, autonomy, responsibility, personal skills to the teacher. We're going to the next slide, which is it's showing what are the tasks A, what are the tasks B that I did. For the task A, the handbook that I did for it's it's included to code of ethics for conduct and online classes. The second task is I had created two posters which is included two ethical theory which is deontological and utilitarianism. Okay, moving to the task A. The task A, which is included introduction to online teaching and code of ethical for the online teaching, guideline for the conduct online classes, online teaching as a best practice, resources for online teaching, which are the things the teacher can do and don'ts, and also the last part will be conclusion. These are the things what I included in handbook. For the introduction, this section is highlight benefits of online teaching and including schedule flexibility to increase access to educational resources and personalize the learning acknowledgement. And also I implement the challenge of online teaching such as technological issue and maintaining the student engagements. Okay, for the second, code of ethics. This section is outlined for the ethical principle for the teachers in online teaching It's also covered area like assessment in evaluation, professionalism, and integrity to protect the communication or communication collaboration with the student engagement and inclusion. For the guideline for the conducting classes, this section provides a guideline for effective teaching, and it also includes topics like planning and preparations, creating a positive learning environment, communication strategies, engaging and motivation to students. For the next point, which is online teaching is a best practices. Why did I say it? This section offers a best practices for online teaching, such as creating interactive learning experience using technologies tools, promoting students' interaction and collaborations, adapting instruction for diverse learning. It also build relationships with students and monitoring student progress and reflecting on teaching practices. For the resources for online teaching, it also include online tools and platform professionalism development opportunity to research article and publication and relevant website on blogs which can be used to teach online teaching. And for the do's and don'ts, the section presents a list of guidelines for teachers to follow in online teaching environment. For the conclusion, the book is concluded by emphasizing the importance of ethical conduct in online teaching as its established trust positive learning environment can promote academic integrity. We move to next slide, which is it's about poster because I did two poster, which is deontological and utilitarianism. First, I'm going to explain about deontological. The deontological, known as, focuses on the nature of an action rather than its consequence. Is also developed by Immanuel Kant, emphasized following moral duty and obedience. The character of this theory is rules based by ethical guidelines, morals. For the strength, emphasizing duty and obedience, respect for autonomy and human dignity. The weakness is the lack of moral rules, lack of flexibility, and it's also effective lack of flexibilities. Okay, for the relevant in teaching, moral education, fostering ethical decision making, respect for students' rights. Conclusion for deontological to promote moral education, ethical decision making, and respectful learning environment. Okay, for the next poster will be utilitarianism theory. It's utilitarianism is focused maximizing overall happiness or utility for the greatest number of people. It's also developed by philosopher Jeremy Bentham and John Stuart Mill. Considers the consequence of action. The characteristic is greatest happiness principle. For the strength, focus on welfare, flexible and balancing individual and collective interests. The weakness is minority concern, is also challenging of quantification. Relevant in the teaching is curriculum design, ethical design, decision making, resources and allocation. Conclusion of this theory is focus on maximizing overall happiness and balancing individual and collective interests. For the conclusion for overall poster, the poster theory can be strength and weakness and it's also relevant in educational context. For the next slide is its attribute of good teacher. Good teacher is basically effective communication. Effective communication is to communicate who can convey the information idea clearly and effectively and to reach the students. The next point, which is adaptable teaching methods. Good teachers recognize the student have diverse learning styles and adapt their teaching method accordingly. Is also they employ a variety of instructional strategies to cater to different needs and preference. The third point is patience and empathy. Good teacher is excite patience and empathy towards to the student. They understand that students have a different abilities and different learning styles, and they provide supports and guidelines to students overcome the challenge. The last point is strong classroom management. Good teachers maintain a well-structured and ordered classrooms. They establish clear expectation and rules, manage students' behavior effectively, and create an atmosphere conducive to learning. So the next slide, which is a bad attribute teacher. It's not about basically the teacher are bad, but then lack of management, lack of experience, it may affect the teacher's attributes. For the first point, which is inactive communication. Poor communication skills is hinder a teacher's ability to convey information clearly, resulting in difficulties for students to understand the concept and engaging in meaningful discussions. For the second point, which is lack of passion and enthusiasm, a teacher who lack of passion and enthusiasm may fail to inspire and motivate students to leading and reducing engagement in learning process. Third point is inflexible teaching methods. The teacher who are reading in their teaching approaches may overlook the diverse needs and learning styles of students, making it challenges for applying knowledge effectively. Weak classroom management. It's also poor classroom management skills can be lead distributions, lack of disciplines, and is also chaotic learning environment impeding students' ability to focus on learn effectively. In previous slide, I just explained about the good and bad attribute teachers, right? Now this slide, I'm going to explain, I'm going to show one scenario, one issue that happening in schools, Malaysia schools, which is the teacher is catched repeatedly eating the students at the school ceremony. The the issue is basically about the student didn't stand properly in school ceremony. Whenever the national song plays also, the student must the student is not steady, so doing something laughing because the student is not an older person. He is just a standard one student only. So the students don't know how to behave. Some more this is the first day of the school. So the student is don't know how to behave. So the teacher must be handle the student in a proper way, not to be eat. Some more in the nowadays the school teacher are not to hit the students. It will be a big issue. So but the teacher are still hit the students, not handling in a proper way. So it's become a good issue. Okay. Now I'm going to explain in aspect of code of ethics, and also I'm going to explain aspect of good teacher how they handle this issue well. So for the code of ethics is relevant. Violence of ethical standards. The teacher is repeated eating of students during school ceremony. It's clearly violate ethical standard outlined in a code of ethics. It's also physical violence towards students is strictly prohibited and teachers are expected to treat students with dignity and respect. For the second point, which is potential consequences, the teacher may face disciplinary actions such as suspensions, uh, terminated from the school or educational authority. This incident may also be reported to relevant authority for further investigation. The third point, which is importance of safety and respectful learning environment. This incident highlighting the importance of maintaining a safety and respectful learning environment for the students. Teacher have responsibility to create the atmosphere where the students feel valued, support, and free from harm. Upholding ethical standards and promoting positive behavior is essential to foster a conducive learning environment. Okay, now we're going to look forward on aspect of good teacher, how the teacher will be handled. Ensure the student's safety and well-being. A good teacher attribute, the teacher will be promotize the safety and well-being of students' involvement. They will take immediate action to ensure the student's safety and provide necessary support or assistance. Once the issue is happening, the teacher already treated the students. How the another teacher will be handle the student who by victim in what sympathy way and also empathy. The next point is individualized approach. The teacher will be recognized that each student is unique and may require personalities attention based on their specific needs and curriculum tendency. They will be tailored their approach to address students' concern and ensure their academic and emotional well-being. The last point, which is provide emotional supports. Once the teacher was either the students really need any emotional supports to share, to take any bad decisions. So it's also recognizing the emotional impact of the incident. The teacher will be offer emotional support to the students. They will be empathetic, understanding, and provide a safety space for the student to express their feelings. The teacher may also involve school counselor or appropriate professionals to provide additional supports of needed. Moving to the next slide, which is I'm going to share my plan, next 5-year plan with regards to become a successful educator. The first point is continuous professional development. I will actively seek out professional development opportunity to enhance my teaching skills and knowledge. It may include attention workshops and conferences and pursuing further education in relevant area. The second point is innovative teaching practices. I will stay updated with the latest research trends in education, particularly in instructional, methodological, and technologies integration. I will strive to incorporate and innovative teaching practices that engage and inspire students such as project-based learning, flipped classroom, or gamifications. The third point, which is collaborative learning communication. I will actively participate in collaborative learning communications such as professionalism learning or online teacher network. I will be collaborate with fellow educators to share ideas, resources, and best practices to fostering a culture of continued improvements. The last point, which is impact and growth. I will measure my successful as an educator not only by academically outcomes but also by positive impact I have on my students' life. I will continue seek opportunity for personal and professional growth Embarking challenge and embarking a lifelong learning mindset. Okay, we're going to the conclusion. For the conclusion, this assignment is focused on professionalism and ethics in online teaching. Task A is required creating the online handbooks, and also the task B is synthesize. Task B is involved explaining and assignment critical theories poster in teaching truths and online posters. This assignment is aimed to assess students' understanding of ethical responsibility teaching and their ability to apply ethical theories to real-world educational scenarios. That's all from me. Thank you.